You know, with premises like this, you can have a lot of fun, but only if it's handled by the right people. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. All right, we now have M3GAN 2.0 coming in at 2 hours and rated PG-13. It is being described as artificial intelligence, cyber thriller, action horror, science fiction, and thriller. This is also being directed by Gerard Johnston. And if you saw the first film that came out in 2022, he was director of that film as well. Also did write Housebound, the Jacques Brown Diaries. I've never heard of that. And also the new Legend of Monkey, a TV series in Terry Teo. If you've seen any of those properties, please let me know how they were down in the comment section below. I would really appreciate it. Now, when it comes to my expectations for M3GAN, I did see the first trailer, but I decided not to see the second one. I was going to react to it, but I just caught it a few days late. And I was like, you know what? I'm already interested. It's coming out pretty soon. Let me just go in with the information that I have right now. As far as the first film is concerned, I thought it was decent. I was entertained. I really did like the trailer. But if you see my review from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it says M3GAN movie review didn't reach its full potential. Of course, we will talk about if this sequel did or not, but I was hoping for the best. I also follow Chris with 3C Films. He was raving about this movie, just really excited with his expectations, anticipating the movie, and he does have a good head on his shoulder as far as judging films good or bad. I tend to agree with him for the most part, and I saw a lot of other people enthused about it as well online, and that got me excited. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna watch this second trailer. Everybody's excited. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to these M3GAN upgrades and having her fight a more advanced robot. What type of gadgets and gizmos is she going to get to make her seize the day to come out on top and be the best cybernetic robot in the land with artificial intelligence spewing all out of her pores? So I was excited about this. I didn't think it was going to be the best of the year, but I just wanted some good action between robots. So whether I got that or not, we can talk about it. So before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this M3GAN 2.0 is all about. 2 years after M3GAN's rampage, her creator Gemma resorts to resurrecting her infamous creation in order to take down Amelia, the military-grade weapon who was built by a defense contractor and stole M3GAN's underlying tech. All right, guys, the first thing that I really did like about this film are the characters. We have the lead playing by Allison Williams. She is playing Gemma, and we also have her stepdaughter, Violet McGraw, playing Katie, or adopted daughter. I don't remember the relationship. Actually, I think that's her aunt. I think that's her niece, and she's the aunt of Katie. And I really did like their characters, both of them. Surprisingly, the little girl too, because for the most part, in films like this, or just films in general, I'm not the biggest fan of children. They're always doing something ignorant or getting on my nerve or putting themselves in moral danger, and somebody has to come save the day, damsel in distress. I do get annoyed with that, but that's not the case here whatsoever. I liked her dialogue. I liked the way she carried herself. If I was her age and if I was in her shoes, I would be doing the same thing. There were a few moments to where there was this forced dialogue or monologuing from her character, to where I said to myself, okay, I don't really think somebody in this situation will be saying this right now. They're really trying to push the plot or the exposition. But for the most part, it did work well for me. Also did like Gemma, who is playing her aunt. She was swell too. And what I like about her character is she really did learn her lesson from the first film. Like, wait a minute, this AI technology is bad. M3GAN is bad. M3GAN is demonic. We cannot trust this character. We cannot trust this robot. If we do, it is just going to release hell on earth, and I don't want to be responsible for it. I messed up before. I do not want to mess up again. We're all human beings. We all make mistakes. That is normal. But what makes you elevate to that next level is if you can learn from your mistakes. I know I'm human. I know I've made a number of mistakes in the past, but for the most part, I have learned from those mistakes, and I will not repeat the behavior. I don't care what you do, how bad it is. If you can do a complete 180 and turn your life around and just throw away all the bad habits and become a new person, I respect that. And that is the case with Allison right here. I mean, she was not backing down, like, no. This cannot be rushed. We need to do our research. So I do like that. Also, guys, this movie is funny. It's freaking hilarious. I laughed my butt off from beginning to end in this film, and I just couldn't take it seriously at one point. So I will go ahead and say, tailor your expectations. If you do want a serious movie, a thriller movie, something that will scare you, this movie is not it. I did say that this was horror and thriller. Those aspects, those elements are thrown completely in the garbage. I don't even know why it is being described that way on IMDb or wherever, but the whole horror element was thrown out, and this is more of a comedy. I was saying to myself at one point with the AI technology, how it took over home, that this kind of did feel like Home Alone movie from the 90s, to where bad guys are trying to rush in and the AI is defending the home. It was silly, it was goofy, but it will make you laugh if that's the type of thing that you're looking for. There was also some comedy with M3GAN all throughout this film as well, as expected. And there was just one point towards the third act of this movie, or the second act going into the third, I was like, wow, I cannot believe they're doing this. They just don't give a damn. They just like, hey, let's go for the jokes. Let's go for the silliness. Let's go for the laughs. We don't care. We just want to have a good time. And I was laughing. Everybody was laughing. It did kind of clock me out. And I was like, okay, we can't take this movie serious anymore. There's no threat whatsoever. But I did laugh. And so I may have lost a pound or two from all the laughing, because at one point my stomach did hurt. And I'm not exaggerating. But guys, that's really going to sum up everything that I did like about the film. Now I got to transition to some things that really didn't care for me, and that's the rest of the movie. I cannot say that there are characters in this film that I did not like, that I have a disdain for, put a bad taste in my mouth. That's not the case. But for one, I have to say this movie is 2 hours long, and that is far, far too long. It does not need to be 2 hours long. It could have easily been 90 minutes. At the end of this film, it really did start to drag out with the plot, and I had no idea where it was going. And with this film being 2 hours long, I felt that it was too long, but at the same time, rushed. And what I mean by that is they did not focus on the necessary plot points of this story to flesh it out. They focused on a bunch of stuff that you just don't care about, like this overstretched ending with like 17 different twists. I did not know at the end of this movie if M3GAN was a good guy or a bad guy, if Amelia was a good guy or a bad guy, or this other reveal, if they were a good guy or a bad guy. I didn't know if AI was a good thing or a bad thing. Like, should we be rooting for AI or should we not be rooting for AI? Do we want this robot to succeed and get to this certain device, this certain MacGuffin, or will it be bad? Like, when they get there, what will they do? I don't know. And I shouldn't be confused at this point in time, to where I'm just sitting back like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. I want to see some fighting. And then when it comes to the fighting, it wasn't that great. One of the things that I was really looking forward to in this movie is the upgrades that M3GAN was going to get. Okay, they destroyed her, or supposedly in the first film, she comes back, get a new body, but there is an upgraded version by the name of Amelia that's just completely unstoppable, wrecking shop everywhere she goes. I mean, if we don't nuke her, she's going to rule the world. And that's kind of what I was thinking. That's actually not the case as far as Amelia is concerned, but when it comes to the upgrades for M3GAN, they sucked. Like, why couldn't M3GAN get a chainsaw on her hand, some rocket boosters, flamethrowers, ninja stars, a Gatling gun, a grappling hook, a helicopter that comes out of her head, vibranium, or just hardened skin? Like, none of that. We didn't get any of that. We just kind of got a brief montage of them working on her, not really showing us what they're doing. But then she jumps out of a plane and goes down the mountain, and she has a squirrel suit and parachutes in. And while that looked cool in the trailer, I was like, okay, that's it. But then when it came down to the fighting of Amelia, yeah, in that montage, we saw her doing some Wing Chun on a wooden dummy. But when it actually came to the fight between her and Amelia, it was dull. I was like, this is it. Like, y'all hyped this up so much, and this is the final result. Oh my gosh, this is so, so disappointing. And while I did like the comedy aspect of the film and I did laugh, again, they should not have thrown the thriller out of this film. The horror, like, M3GAN was scary in the first film, but she was friendly as a butterfly dancing on a rainbow, playing hopscotch with the Care Bears in this film. And that's just not the film that I want to see. Like, I don't understand why they took it in that direction. Again, I don't mind comedy, but they just completely took all the violence, blood. And at the very beginning, when we get the introduction to Amelia, I thought that that was rushed. I wanted them to flesh that out a little bit more and talk about where they got the technology, how they built it, how they upgraded it, who was the person that did all these things behind the scene, who was the corporate, like what was going on behind the scenes, and we just didn't get that. I wanted more Amelia, I wanted more of M3GAN, but we have this reveal at the end, and that was just really disappointing. I mean, it was just so back and forth, on and off. Like at one point, I was like, wait a minute, I thought M3GAN was dead, but now she's back, but she's dead again, but she's back. But then they're teaming up with the robot, and it's just like all over the place to where I just didn't care anymore. I mean, this was very disappointing to me. I said at the very beginning of this that the first movie did not reach its full potential. That is definitely the case with part 2 times 3. And I'm not even trying to be silly when I say that. If they do have a M3GAN 3, and I heard that they may have 5 M3GAN movies, I have zero interest in this. It will everybody would have to, I would have to have a lot of word of mouth of people running out of the theater saying, oh my gosh, this is the best M3GAN movie. It's better than part 1. It's better than part 2. Because I'm really disappointed with this right here. I'm filming this video late in the week. I saw this like 4 or 5 days ago, and I was just not enthused to talk about it because I was just that let down. And my expectations, no, they were pretty high. I mean, they were above average. And so, guys, I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, but I just really don't care for this movie. It is very, very forgettable. But before that, guys, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Trying to reach 65,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, all that good stuff. And if I had to rate M3GAN 2.0 out of a 1 out of 10, I would give this like a 5.5 out of 10. Yes, a 5.5 out of 10. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace. And I'll see you next time.